It's All Gravy with Teresa. Good afternoon, y'all. This is Teresa with It's All Gravy with Teresa. And we're here in Bowling Green, Kentucky at our home on a cloudy, humid day. The remnants of, I think it was Laura from coming up the coast. We're getting the remnants of that for the next few days. But right now it's quit raining, so we're sitting out here and just enjoying the air. And just coming to you today to tell you we're going to do a little cooking again. And we're going to make a favorite. It was a favorite of Teresa's restaurant for years, and one of those staples that I used in the early days because it was a cheap meal to fix. Just macaroni, diced tomatoes, a little butter or bacon grease, and salt and pepper, and a few onions, and you have got a good, delicious southern side dish. Very easy, very simple to make. And another one of these recipes that can be handed down, and you can add to it what you want. A lot of people don't save bacon grease, so they use butter. You know me, I love butter, so I put both in there. And the salt and pepper can be to taste. At times we have put rotel in there in the macaroni noodles just to give it a little bit of a bite. So there's just a million ways that you can fix that little recipe too. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you for liking, sharing, commenting on It's All Gravy with Teresa. Things have really done well, and we're so excited about that, and excited about finding more country recipes, some that maybe have started to be forgotten. And that's one of the purposes of this show. Is I'm at a point in my life where I'm trying to live intentional. Intentional with my time, intentional with the way I cook. I'm trying to live with less. And I'm trying to learn how to quit saying so much. There I go again. We are trying to put back a little bit of that hometown flavor into our homes, bring it into our homes. For years in the restaurant, I was so busy that I could never slow down. I didn't feel like I could slow down. We run wide open from 4 o'clock in the morning to about 3:30 in the afternoon the last 15 years I was there. And by the time I got home, me sitting down to the table or having a meal on the table, it came out of the styrofoam boxes from Teresa's, or we drove through a drive-through. And I know I'm not the only one that has done that for the last 15 years, because we've been in that, our age group have been in that, we gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. And I've been blessed, very blessed that we were able to go out and eat like that, that we got to enjoy things on the time that I did take off. I got to do some memorable things with my boys, my younger boys. So I'm very thankful for that. But again, this has really been on my heart for my grandchildren and for my children to know that you don't have to be wide open. You choose a career, you do your very best for that, but leave some time for your family. I'm big on being self-starters, so I talk to my grandchildren about that all the time, that there are opportunities everywhere we look. We just have to find what our niche is. But again, that doesn't mean that you give up your family. And I don't feel like I gave mine up, but I did. When you're trying to be mom and dad both and sole provider, I remember Pastor Steve Ayers told me one time, when you have to do everything, something's going to fall short that day. And that was really true in my life. Either business was booming on top of things, and if that was going on, then something was suffering at home. And that's a hard lesson to learn. But I think I'm there. I think I'm ready to slow down. This has been just the perfect thing for me to be able to do things and it not take up all of my time or all of Clint's time. I hope that I'm helping a few people, and I hope that I'm bringing back family into the home, sitting down at the table and showing you how easy that can be. So, with that being said, a few things about It's All Gravy. I think I said already, thank you, but I can't say that enough. Thank you so much for all that you're doing to help us get the word out. We're on YouTube now, and we have, I think, Clint, did you say 60-some followers?
61.
61 followers, which is great. I'm very tickled with that. But if we can get to 1,000 followers, that puts us in another category where we're able to do a few more things with this show. The same thing as the Facebook. We got to 1,000. Now we're working towards 2,000 followers. So you all remember that when you're sharing with your family and friends, if this is something you think they would like. Facebook, like and share, or like and follow for Facebook, and for YouTube, subscribe. And we would appreciate that very much. The t-shirts, the sales that Clint hooked us up with, those were over. We only did that for a month. We decided that we weren't really ready for that bigger obligation yet. Hopefully you guys who ordered off of that site have gotten your t-shirts. If not, they should be coming soon, and we appreciate you so much for that. In the meantime, until we build things up, my daughter-in-law Mandy and my granddaughter Maddie are making shirts. It's All Gravy with Teresa, and I actually don't have one on right now, but we added in there a tribute to Robbie, my son who passed away. It's a little flower, like the one I have on my arm. He doodled that all the time, so we added that in the It's All Gravy design. So those shirts that we get out, we're very tickled to see them out into the community, and we know that you guys really are watching, and it just makes you feel good when you see your logo and what you've been working hard on, when you see somebody wearing it and appreciating it. So those shirts, if you want those, just send me a private message or jump on the Facebook page and you can holler at me, and we'll set you up with that. We still have Patreon. Yes, Patreon, and that is a site that you can go to and look. That is a contribution site. It takes Clint's time, and he's doing all the filming and editing, and although it's great for him, another thing he can put on his resume that he's doing, it does take him time to do that and equipment to do that. So anything you can do, we truly appreciate. If you don't, that's not what you think you're called to do, then just keep watching. Just keep watching. We appreciate it. Keep telling your friends. Keep sharing with your family. And when you cook something, I had the sweetest thing. My cousin made the meatloaf. My Aunt Audrey has been making the recipes and sending me pictures of them, where she's feeding a few people. And Tanya made the meatloaf this week and tagged me in it and loved it, loved the recipe. So if you try out one of our recipes and it works out well for you, then share that with us. Or if it flops, share that with us, and we'll try to help you figure out what happened. I think that's it on It's All Gravy with Teresa. I always like to share a little something uplifting, especially these few days. Clint and I were talking between, and it's not political at all, because I learned years ago not to get into sides on politics. Although I did run for office one time, and Lord, everybody should do that at least once just to see how the system works. I was very disappointed by how involved our community really is, and it's our fault. A few people run things because a few people are the ones who get out, and you know, I want that to change. I want us to be heard. So if you don't vote, I hope that you will. I hope that you will. But we have been just this funk, I think, over the whole country about what are we supposed to do. You know, what do we have to choose from? And if we choose one, what are we giving up from the other? So it's so aggravating that people just can't be the people we were called to be and be kind and helpful, and you know, that we all work together to bring things back to the States for us to make, for us still to have good relationships with the foreign countries. It's just crazy to me that that can't be more simple. Well, that's enough of that. But like I said earlier, just hold on. Every day is a new day. Things don't last for long. So if you're enjoying it, enjoy it. And if you're struggling today, just hang on. I have a little book here that my friend Larry Kinder got me years ago, or he gave it to me. And this was when I was hanging out at Alcoholics Anonymous. And if you are in that program, I hope that you have this little book, and I hope that you're reading it. And I picked it up probably a month or so ago, trying to help somebody else out. And I've kept it out and reading in it. And today, just basically it says that, you know, I can be helpful just being myself. And I don't have to be such a people pleaser all the time. That's not what's expected of me. I find out what I'm good at, and that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And you don't have to kill yourself doing it. You know, somebody else is good at the same thing, and maybe they can pick up some of the slack. So that takes some of the pressure off of me. But I'll just say the meditation for the day, I'll read that to you. I should try to practice the presence of God. I can feel that He is with me and near me, protecting and strengthening me always. In spite of every difficulty and every trial, every failure, the presence of God suffices. Just to believe that He is near me brings strength and peace. I should try to live as though God were, I should try to live as though God were beside me. I cannot see Him because I was not made with the ability to see Him, else there would be no room for faith. But I can feel His Spirit with me. And I do believe in God, and, you know, I did, and then I had to find a deeper faith after my son died. But you finally, when I have gotten to that place where I am not the center of my own universe, it has taken off so much pressure from me. And whoever that is for you, you do not have to be in charge of everything. And that's a hard lesson, especially for self-starters and people who have that drive to make it. It's hard to know that we're not in charge, that we're just going with the flow. And whatever is happening, even if God didn't put us there, He can use it for His glory, because we all make mistakes. And the little prayer for today, I pray that I may try to practice the presence of God. I pray that by doing so, I may never feel alone or hopeless again. And that is so true in my life. There has been times that I felt absolutely hopeless. And thank you, Jesus. That's been a few years. But it took me a long time to get there. So for all the people suffering today, I hope you get some relief. If you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor. That is a good thing to go and find out if you have a chemical imbalance, and that there are things to help you. So, like I said earlier, just hang on. The sun's going to shine. Thank you so much. We are getting ready to go in here and cook some macaroni and tomatoes in Teresa's kitchen. I'll see you in a few minutes. Hi y'all, this is Teresa, and we're in Teresa's kitchen. And today we're going to do a favorite, easy recipe, macaroni and tomatoes. At the restaurant, this sold wonderfully. It's a good basic recipe, doesn't cost much to make, and it's a good filler. It has noodles in it, so it's a good filler. We can do it in a couple of different ways. You can use fresh tomatoes. I know people have them in their gardens, or they're coming out now. Ours have really slowed down, so we don't have many. You would want to wash and peel these and cut them up in little chunks. We're not going to do that today because the kids I have here are wanting lunch. So we're going to use a can of diced tomatoes. You can also, I've done this before and I love this, especially in the wintertime, Rotel. And I would put a couple of cans of Rotel, and it's got the little bit of pepper in there that just gives it a little bit of bite. This is another recipe that you can add different things to your taste. In this, just the very basics is what we're going to do. I've already cooked my macaroni, and it is 2 cups of dry macaroni. And you just prepare that like you usually do. You know, put it in boiling water. I put a little bit of salt, and I usually put just a dash of oil in there. Let it cook for 10 minutes, and then drain them. Now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of my bacon grease in there, just like that. If you don't have bacon grease, you can use butter or margarine. Because I do love butter and I love the flavor, I'm going to use bacon grease and a little dab of butter. So I'm going to put about maybe a half a tablespoon of butter. Sorry about moving around. Looks like you'd be used to it by now. So I'm going to add my onions. I've got a half a cup of onions. I'm going to add that in here. I'm going to add my can of tomatoes. Add those in there. And I've got just a half a teaspoon of pepper out of my handy dandy little containers from New to You Consignment. And a half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to put this on the stove and just let it saute for a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and put it on high till it gets warm. And we're just going to let it saute. After it does that, we're going to add the macaroni that we've already cooked and drained. We're going to add to this pot and just let it heat back up. A little trick that I've done at the restaurant before, because we went in and started cooking at 4 o'clock in the morning. And when we got the macaroni tomatoes done, and we would do them in 4 and 5 gallon pots, you know, to get that stuff done. 3, 4, 5, depending on the weather and what we could gauge the crowd at. So a good trick, if this gets too thick or the macaronis try to stick together, is take you, for this size amount, I would take about 1/3 of a cup of ketchup and add that to the mixture, and that makes it just a little more tomatoey tasting, and you don't have as, if you need to do that, if you don't use it right away. That's just a good little tip. So this is going to be cooking. It smells great already.
Smell-o-vision.
Yeah, smell-o-vision. And you know, this is so hard for me when I cook something like this little bit looks like it's not going to feed one person, because I'm used to cooking in such big quantities. And I've been out of the restaurant already 6 years, but that's still hard for me to make these recipes with just for a little bit. And it's a good thing we have so many eating here. On a regular day, we have 7 for supper, and then we may have from 1 grandchild to 7 grandchildren. We may have Clint and Tristan, or Mallory and Derek, or Mandy and Ben or CW and his family. You never know, CW and Taylor. We never know how many is going to be here. So I still get to cook quite a bit, and sometimes I add to, you know, you can always make beans and cornbread. You can always make them. And what else am I thinking of? Spaghetti. Spaghetti's a good one we have when everybody's here. Tristan really likes that one. All right, that's good and hot. And the onions are sauteing, and you can smell that butter and bacon grease. Man, it smells so good. So I'm going to turn that down now that it's cooked a little bit. And I'm going to add my macaronis. So I've already cooked them and drained them. And now I'm going to add them in here. Whoops. See what I was telling you, after you cook them a little bit? So there we go. I think I heard something that y'all are probably going to hear. Stop, which is a normal phrase around here. See how great that looks? And I'm just going to show you my little tip and what a difference that little bit will make. I'm going to add a little ketchup to it and show you. There you go. I'll take about 1/4 of the ketchup, and I'm going to add it right in here. And that gives a little more coverage for the macaroni. And like I said, a little more tomatoey taste. So you can see just that little bit of difference. Instead of being the stark macaronis, it's got a little color to it. And that's it, guys. What an easy, quick side dish. As the weather, it's not a great summertime meal, although we have eat this cold, and it's a good side salad. But it's more of a hearty, the leaves are starting to change, more of a hearty dish to have. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's going to be an easy recipe for you to do. When you do try it out, if you would send us a message and let us know if you liked it or you didn't like it, what you added to it or what you left off. All those things are great for us to know, and we can pass that on to other people. I love you guys a lot. It has been a joy for me to be able to do this. It just worked out where Clint's not working right now, and this gives him something to do. And it's been great for me to be back in the public. Even though I'm not sitting right there with you, getting to touch you on the shoulder or hug you, I do feel like I'm connecting to you. And that's a gift. So I thank you for that. That's all I got for today. Y'all have a great rest of the week. We'll be seeing you later on in the week. So until then, God bless.